Hello, everyone, and welcome to the One Conscious Love Network. Thank you for joining us today. I'm here with Deanna. Deanna and I met about a month ago at a beautiful evening that she was performing and hosting all of us at. And it was just this wonderful, magical night. And I wanted to introduce her to all of you. So here you are, Deanna. Thank you so much for joining me. And why don't you tell everyone? What is it that you do? How do you shed your light in the world?
Well, I wear a bunch of different hats, including this one. Um, I am primarily a singer-songwriter and performance artist. So I've been on stage since I was 5, and I didn't start songwriting until a little bit later in my life when I was kind of feeling a little exhausted from the music industry, and I decided, well, if I'm going to stay in the music industry, there must be something that I need to say with my own soul, my own words, and beautiful songs started coming through. And yeah, so that's a big part of my life. I'm also an event producer. I produce. I'm really focused on positive songwriting and
Mm-hmm.
with a vibration of gratitude and love and hope and looking to inspire hope in the world and positive change. So that's really a focus for me when it comes to my songwriting, but also when it comes to my event producing and planning. I produce a beautiful event in my garden called the SoulShine Garden Concert Series. I live on the Sunshine Coast in BC, so in Gibsons. It's a 40-minute ferry ride from Vancouver. So I also run a wonderful bed and breakfast called Secret Beach B&B Suites. So that is a beautiful place to visit. Our garden is so gorgeous right now, but we have an ocean view and a hot tub and two beautiful suites and rooms. And I just finished renovation in my garden, so I have a new space for circle work and small retreats. I'd like to do singer-songwriter retreats and some healing retreats of various kinds. And I'm married. I have a beautiful son, so I'm a mother as well. And yeah, that covers a lot of what I do. So I keep pretty busy wearing various hats in those areas. I sit on the jazz board for our festival here as well, so that's coming up next weekend. And I have three musical projects. So for the last 23 years, I've been Vancouver's Gypsy Jazz Chanteuse with the Hot Club of Mars. And we recorded 2 records and played a lot of festivals and a lot of stages over the last 23 years. Though I shifted and put my music to #1 a few years ago, and just had a reunion with the Hot Club, which was fantastic. We had so much fun. Definitely miss that repertoire, but I'm trying really hard to stay focused on my soul songs and my purpose as a songwriter and as a singer and entertainer. And so yeah, so the Hot Club has sort of shifted. And then I also sing in a Grateful Dead tribute, which is probably a surprise to a lot of people. It's kind of a serious turn in another direction, but it's a lot of fun, and it beckons back to my roots. In my 20s, I sang with a rock band in Toronto, and it was a Grateful Dead inspired band. So and the Grateful Dead have a real wide variety of musical styles. So lots of rock, of course, but lots of blues and folk roots and jazz, and yeah, they're really quite diverse, and we have a lot of fun. So we have a big event coming up called the Sunshine Shakedown. So that's Friday, Saturday this weekend, and then Jazz Week kicks off, and then it goes for a week, and then the big jazz festival happens after that. So yeah, I do keep really busy. Um, I'm very excited about Soulshine this year. I'll just show a little poster. This is the Soulshine Garden Concert Series, and it happens in my garden, so you can have an ocean view. There's a beautiful balcony where is right in front of the stage, and You can see the ocean and the stage and listen to the music. It's gorgeous. And then there's patio seating, and then there's lawn seating. So we fit 50 to 100 people in our garden for these events. And my lineup this year is every year is so stellar. I've been super blessed with the community around me, the musical community around me, the incredibly talented, beautiful souls that I've met throughout my career. And I'll just a quick rundown. I've got Oliver Swain from Victoria on July 9th. I have Michael Friedman and Paul Pagat, two guitar masters. They're incredible. On July 23rd, my trio will do a show in the garden on the 30th of July. Dawn Pemberton is like gospel, R&B, funk. She's incredible. She's bringing her whole band. She'll be with us August 13th. Coco Love Alcorn. Well, if you don't know Coco, Melanie, you are going to love Coco. She writes new spirituals for a new time. She is heart on her sleeve, open, beautiful, engages the audience to sing along with her in harmony. It's just, she's magnificent. She's August 20th. Unfaithful Servants from Victoria are old school bluegrass, 4-part harmony, multi-instrumentalists. And that's August 27th. And Oliver, just to explain who he is, he plays double bass, banjo, and he sings like Errol Neville. He has this tone, this beautiful, rich tone to his voice that just, it just hits you so beautifully and deeply. And yeah, that's my lineup. So exciting.
Cool.
Yeah.
When did you start the SoulShine series?
This is the 7th year.
A lucky 7 too. That's great.
7th summer, and it all happens at Secret Beach B&B here at my home,
So
the Sunshine Coast.
Can you tell us a little bit what the experience was like for the guests that would travel and
Well, I mean,
Sunshine
if you
Coast?
at this point we've just released tickets for the individual shows. This year we offered a season pass for the first time, so you can purchase a season pass for all 6 shows. But if you were coming over for one of the shows from out of town, there's still opportunity to stay at the B&B on the evening of a show. So that's a pretty special experience. And but the doors open at 6:30. It's open to the whole community. People bring their own lawn chairs and beverages and snacks and a blanket, or if it's super sunny, umbrella, or, you know. I try to keep it to adults, and because it is a listening audience, so children, if they can sit quietly, are welcome. And then, of course, pets need to stay off our property for those particular events. But people arrive and they get settled in, and I start actually every performance, except the one where my trio is playing. I'll have a different opener, but I open each of the shows with a little 20-minute opening set, just to get people settled in, to share my songs with potential new audience, but also to put everybody in their hearts and kick things off in that way. And then the feature artist does an hour, or a little bit more than an hour performance. And it's just such a beautiful setting. Our stage is covered in grapevine, and the garden transitions obviously throughout the summer, and even into the later shows in August. The first set will be in the light, and the second set will be in the evening. So then the lights come on, and the garden, it just everything sort of transitions and transforms in the light of the later August ones, which I find really charming. And yeah, my husband does the sound for us, so it's a bit of a family affair. And my dog and cat are on site and bouncing around, and yeah, it's and we fit a really nice number of people, so it's a pretty special venue for that, to be outside in a garden. Oh my goodness. I will turn that ringer off. To be in a just an outdoor setting in the under the stars, or under the lovely sky. I don't know, I just find it really charming and beautiful, so I really like that. And I do try to collaborate. We usually collaborate, so I usually have either a player or two or somebody join me, or I'll join them for a song or two. And so I like the collaboration because then it brings everybody together, but also it's sort of a one-time thing. Just like when you go to a folk festival and, there's a collaboration or a workshop, and everybody knows that this is a one-time deal. You're there experiencing something that's not going to happen again. And it's just, it feels really special.
It's so beautiful. I love it. It's just such a perfect combination of all your passions as well. And to have it at home is just such a blessing as well.
And I am pretty particular of who I choose to be on the stage as well, because I'm so intrigued with how music transforms us and how it can inspire us. And so I choose my artists who I know have lots of positive music. And, there's so many sad, bluesy, or angry tunes or whatever. There's so much types of music out there, but I really feel that my purpose is to spread more love and joy and hope. And so I am pretty picky on who I put into the garden so that it's a positive experience in that way, because lyrics really impact us, whether we're tuning into the lyric or not tuning into the lyric. They do have a powerful way of their messages are powerful, even if you're not listening to them. So I find that vibration is really important. So I pick artists who are in that vein and have that to share.
Indeed, so beautiful. Like our words and our affirmations through singing become our emotions. And so it's very important to select them well.
That's right.
For those that are watching that are not local, they can also find your music and your gift online. And so do you want to share a little bit about that?
Yeah. So I just, being in the music industry so long, when I wrote my new album, that was one thing I could have grabbed. Oh, here's some. Let's see. Oh, there's a big one. An actual album.
Beautiful.
I pressed vinyl for the first time. I've released lots of records, but I pressed vinyl. And the new album's called Every Little Spark. It's a beautiful 10-song record, and I did all the artwork myself as well, which proved to be challenging, but
yes,
I pulled it off, and I'm very happy with it. Some beautiful images from local photographer Chelsea Roysam at CBR Photography. She's taken so many beautiful photos of me, and so I used a lot of them in the packaging of the record. And Every Little Spark are all my songs, and it was recorded in Toronto with a fantastic group of musicians. I brought back my bass player from my first album, Shadow of a Star, which was 24 years ago. I released a solo album, and then I moved to BC. As soon as I got the album in hand, basically, I moved to BC. I slipped into an already established gypsy swing band, the Hot Club of Mars, kind of dropped performing my original music for a long time. And just in the last few years, I've sort of reconfigured my purpose in the music industry, but also my focus on my soul songs. So this record's super dear to my heart, and it is available on all the streaming platforms, though there's only 4 songs on Spotify right now. Spotify is a bit of a trick. It is definitely the most popular streaming platform, and you can discover new music and new artists on Spotify, though they don't pay anything. So and they actually shifted to paying very, very, very little fractions of pennies to the artist, to only the upper third of their artists. So the bottom third gets 0. So there's a lot of people that know that, though, my purpose is not, I'm not money motivated or fame motivated. I'm really motivated to ripple these songs out into the world. So I am going to be dropping more singles on Spotify, though the full album's on YouTube and Apple Music and Amazon Music and Bandcamp. And Bandcamp actually pays the most. So if you are a Bandcamp member, that's a good place to support your independent artists. And of course, you can go directly to the artist, which is always the best, to deannaknight.ca, and you can download or listen to the album there. And that is always the best. And another thing I like to remind people of, if you are feeling moved or inspired by an independent artist, to engage with them on socials. It makes a huge difference and it costs you nothing. So like their posts, comment on their posts, share their posts, add independent artists to your playlists on Spotify, share the music and engage with the socials on Facebook and Instagram, because that shifts our algorithm. And as soon as you shift the algorithm, as it gains momentum, your musics will just sort of drop into people's feeds. And if you don't get engagement, it just goes to the bottom of the pile. And there's a very, very, very large pile of music out there now. So it is, I don't think people, again, I don't think they understand that. Like a simple heart, a simple like, it doesn't take any time at all and it's free, but it actually makes a big difference on our end of who hears our music and who new people hearing our music, especially. And so it's a great reminder for independent artists in particular, because obviously the big stars and the big artists have a whole other thing going on.
Yes, and it's so beautiful what you're sharing. I feel like that's a really strong message that people need to hear. And so to share it more widely, all we need to do is just to like and share and comment.
Comment can just be a heart, or like yay, or love this, or whatever. The comment again makes it, every little stage is different, right? A like is one thing, a comment is even better, a share is even better. So it's like there's kind of levels of liking and engagement. So yeah.
Beautiful. And when I met you, you also had all sorts of beautiful poetry and sayings and stickers that you're providing, and it's just so beautiful. And
Can I give you one of these?
Yes, so nice.
Yeah, so that was 1995. I can't even believe it, really. 1995, when I first started journaling and writing, I had a lot of healing I was going through myself, and I thought, I'm not here to share sad songs. And so as I was writing and clearing and going through my healing path and my healing journey, as the sad stuff was moving through, this beautiful light stuff was coming in. And Rosy Vision is the name of this poem. And it was the first piece of poetry that I wrote where it all came in one. It came through me in one beautiful poem, and with no edits. And I remember reading it the next day and thinking, where did this come from? Like, I didn't write this, And anyway, I was so inspired to just share it with people that I made copies. And for many years, it was just photocopied black and white little Rosy Vision poems. And I would give it to people that I had a nice connection with. And I'd ask them to read it in the morning and make a wish. So I've been doing that for a long time now, since 1995. And also I did make some pretty cool stickers. I'm pretty happy with these. I've been sort of stretching my graphic design skills over the last years. This one's really cute. It says, I'm a little spark of love, of light, of goodness. And one of my song titles is Blessed to Witness. And that was my first single that I put out. And all the good that I can do. And this is another song title, Feed Your Heart. And I love that song. That song is one of my favorites. Rise up with your wishful heart. So these are all on beautiful little vinyl stickers. I found my love inside. And that's from my first album, actually. But I made all these little stickers in really high quality vinyl so that you can put them on your car or your water bottle, your laptop, and they'll last for a long time. So it's been just a fun way to share the messages of my songs, but also to have them kind of ripple out again. So you have it on your water bottle and then somebody reads it and feed your heart. Oh, I like that. Feed your heart. Yeah. With all the goodness, because there's so much goodness and sometimes it's difficult, I think, especially right now with how our world is going through such turmoil and transformation. I feel like we need that extra reminder. It's easy to get bogged down by the darkness or the fear. And our media is really good at just sort of focusing in on that rather than the good news and the solutions and the love and the beautiful communities that are growing right now. You know, as systems and structures sort of break down, new beautiful systems and structures are building, and it's to our advantage to focus in on that. Our thoughts become our reality. We know that, right? That's science. And so I'm pretty keen to spread that message as far as how we can stay in our hearts and how we can focus on the goodness in the world. Because there's so much beauty. There's so much to be grateful for. So yeah, that's kind of my jam.
That's so beautiful. And I love that you're going to be hosting circles and retreats. You want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, I have. Well, there was when we moved on to this property 8 years ago, there was a studio, there was a garden shack, let's call it, in the garden. And but it had a proper roof and it was structurally very sound. And so I very quickly turned it into sort of a little, well, I called it the garden studio because I thought it would be my rehearsal space and maybe potentially a recording space. So that didn't happen. It kind of just turned into a bunkie. And then this spring, I was inspired to expand on it because I keep thinking I need a space to gather with people that's more of a container and where it's not the middle of my home where people are coming up the stairs or the phone is ringing or making a sandwich in the kitchen, you know. So I kept sort of hemming and hawing. Should I get a yurt? Should I get a geodesic dome? I was really attached to it being circular. And they were like, well, should we just build an octagon in the forest because we have space on the side of our property? And that was going to be pricey. So we thought, you know, why don't we just expand on what's there? So that's what we did recently. So now we've got a beautiful space. I'm just waiting on a 12-foot circular carpet to put in there, and it has skylights and it's lovely. So it's going to work very, very well for not only circles for men and women, but also retreats, because I'm pretty keen to do singer-songwriter retreats, maybe some work with youth in our community, maybe special speakers who are coming through, or poetry evenings. Yeah, lots of ideas for that, because right now I'm pretty limited to my my stage in the garden, and that being July and August. Because of rain, it's just a situation where, okay, we're going to do July and August, we'll do concerts. Outside of that, it's always a risk. And July and August were pretty good. Out of the 7 years, we've had one night of rain, and we were prepared for it with a very, very large canopy, like tarp, that we attached to the back of the house, right to the back of the stage. It was a little bit nutty, but it did keep us dry, and the show went on. So that's good. But outside of July and August, there really isn't a meeting or gathering space on the property that isn't my own living room. So I was looking for something along those lines, and now we have it. And I'm not sure if we're going to keep the name, if it's going to be this garden studio, if it might stay the garden studio, but I have some other ideas of, you know, what it could become. It's just, we had our first meeting in it last night. It wasn't as spiritual as I was hoping. It was a jazz festival board meeting. So, but it was the first gathering of people in the space.
Yes.
It worked out beautifully. Yeah, worked out very well.
And sometimes it's the people that makes it special, right? It doesn't have to be the meeting itself.
And we're all excited about the jazz festival. It's a big event here on the Sunshine Coast. So yeah,
it's always a good time for sure. Oh, that's beautiful, beautiful. Anything else you'd like to share with everyone?
Maybe I should say something about the jazz festival, because this year we've brought back Jazz Week. So it's the week leading up to the actual main event. So there's shows in all of various different locations and venues, including the library and our Banditry Cider Tree, the Gumboot Cafe, um, the Legions, both Legions are involved, the RC Legion, Roberts Creek Legion, and the Gibsons Legion. So we rebranded over the last couple of years. We're now the Gibsons Landing Jazz Festival and Beyond. So there's been a nice shift. The artistic director, who's been doing this for many, many, many years, was ready to step down. And so somebody has stepped up into that artistic director role, and the board has kind of shifted. So that's been an interesting shift. And we thought we would start including Roberts Creek and Seashell. So it would be a little bit broader in our community, but also we shifted a little bit in the music. So the music is moving beyond jazz. The location is moving beyond Gibsons, and we have a beautiful jazz brunch that will be at the Gibsons Public Market, and we have free music in Hackett Park on the Saturday and free music in Weingarten Park on the Sunday in Gibsons. So it's it's turning into a really lovely more diverse event, and that's Jazz Week is June 7th to the 12th, and then Jazz Festival is June 13th, 14th, and 15th. And Jennifer Scott is coming, the Big Easy Funk Ensemble, Trudy Denning, Mary Anchetta, John Bentley, the Tumbling Tumbleweeds. Yeah, lots of fabulous music. So you can come on over to the Sunshine Coast and enjoy. And I've been I've been stretching a little bit as well since I got into the artwork of my record. I've now been getting into the graphics of all of the festivals. So I've been getting more and more adventurous with my graphic design, and that's coming along. It's a bit of a slow. I'm not professionally or officially trained as a graphic artist, so there's some bits and pieces on the technical side, but visually things come to me very, very easily when it comes to graphic design.
Awesome. So fun and so multi-talented, obviously.
Yeah, it is fun.
I love it.
I actually really like doing graphics, so sometimes I'll avoid other work when it's like, oh, well, I could make another sticker. Yeah.
That's great. That's great. One question I always ask everyone is, how do you choose one conscious love every day? What does that mean to you?
One conscious love. Well, I've written about it several times. It is in many of my songs. I feel like it's about that connection. You know, the connection for all of us, but all living beings, you know, the beautiful animals and creatures and on the planet, and our plant species. I'm a big gardener. I just love being in my garden. And it's actually, I think, my favorite place to be. And you know, I'm one of those gardeners that when daisies show up on the property, it's like, well, don't mow down the daisies just because they're on the lawn, you know.
Right.
Leave the daisies. So last year I got my husband to leave the daisies, and this year you should see how many daisies are on my lawn. They're so beautiful. I was out there yesterday just sort of hanging out with them. It was incredible. But yeah, if a plant shows up on my property, it's a very invasive species, it gets to stay. It's like, you know, if an oak tree all of a sudden is growing, it's like, you worked hard to be here to grow and to be healthy on my property, you can stay, you know.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, so I feel it's like it's that connection, that deep connection of oneness for everything, all growing and sentient beings on our property, or on our planet. And I think that's an important part of being human, is to be conscious of that. And you know, we're not robots. We are human beings with empathy and compassion and love and hope and dreams, and we are so much more complex than we know. So we see, hear, smell a fraction of what is really going on. So, you know, I feel like we're in this really magical, wonderful time where we're going to become more aware of how complex and beautiful and connected we are. And I think we're going to see that in our healing and health area, the area of health and healing. I think that's already starting, you know, in quantum physics and the magic of being human,
Mhm.
the magic of this experience, of the human experience. So I'm really intrigued. I mean, I'm not always rainbows and butterflies and, you know, in a positive mood. I definitely have my
Sure.
ups and downs, but I do feel we are in a really interesting time to be.
Mm.
And through this transformation of who we are on this beautiful planet Earth, you know, we have responsibilities, but we also have this awakening, it seems, you know. And I
Mhm.
know that word is maybe overused right now. I don't know, and or maybe it hits people in a different way, but it does feel like the human consciousness is awakening to something bigger
Mhm.
and more beautiful than we could ever imagine. And I'm just excited to be here to witness that, to be a part of it, and to play, you know, my small role in how I can inspire more love and hope. So
Mm.
that's what
And
I'm.
you do it so well. That's so beautiful. So beautiful. And I love that you're so passionate about your garden and you're inviting people into your garden. And so I hope they will take you up on that invitation and
I
come and be inspired in a beautiful, beautiful place.
Thank you. Thank you. And thank you for what you do too, Melanie. I appreciate that. And for introducing yourself. It's always so nice at a performance to connect with people on a deeper level. And yeah, we definitely did that. So I appreciate you.
Yes, I'm really glad that we connected. And I hope that this interview will bring you more wonderful connections your way because you are really wonderful. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you.
Thank you everyone for watching and please reach out to Deanna, make a new friend.
All the best.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye.